Now you're welcome back. Champions League has taken a back seat for us this evening, you'll appreciate. But I should tell you, Liverpool are 2-0 down at home to Atalanta after 72 minutes. And in that group, Group D, Ajax 3-0 up now against FC Midtjylland. Already this evening, Manchester City have beaten Olympiacos by a Phil Foden goal to nil. Real Madrid 2-0 up away to Inter, and Borussia Mönchengladbach 4-0 up at home to Shakhtar Donetsk. Peter Reid, good evening.
How are we doing?
So you've had a few messages today.
Well, it's obviously sad news. I mean, Diego Maradona. I mean, he's been one of the greatest footballers ever to walk the planet, and coincidentally, the same day as the great George Best died as well. So you know, it is sad. He's only 60 years of age. Is still young, and it's a sad day for anybody who loves football. It
sure is. You're inextricably linked to him in some people's minds for obvious reasons.
I wish I was linked a bit closer. Like I wish I'd have got him, but there you go.
Well, he wasn't that easy to get, was he?
Yeah, he's a good player. He was a top. I mean, the first goal he cheated, and the God, well, it wasn't my God, but when you talk about the second one, it was, I mean, a genius that way. You know, absolutely outstanding footballer, and one of the greatest. I mean, it's always hard. You know, you look at Di Stefano, Puskás, George Best, Bobby Charlton, Cruyff, Messi, you know, Zidane, Ronaldo, but Diego, Pelé, Diego Maradona was up there with the absolute best.
Peter, having been at such close quarters to him, what made him so difficult to stop?
I think he had pace, you know. But if you got pace and you haven't got a football brain and you haven't got strength, the only thing he didn't have, I think, was a right foot. But when you got a left foot like him, which was a wand, nearly as good as Sheedy's, you've got an extreme talent, and 86 besides. Doing us in the quarters. I mean, against Belgium, where the great man Mark Eric Gerets, you know, he turned him inside out, and in the final he was the best player in the pitch against Germany. He was just at the unique top of his talent.
Yes, in '86 he was the captain. He played every minute. He scored 5 goals. He had 5 assists, and that doesn't even begin to capture
not bad, is it?
what he. And it doesn't even begin to capture just how amazing he was. Your memory of that day, like, it's funny. A lot of the footage is emerging now on social media or around the place, and you know, he did some amazing warm-ups before games, dancing to music almost. Do you remember him catching your eye that day in '86 in advance of the game, even?
Yeah, we had. I mean, I'd seen him against Scotland when he was 17 and go past Alan Hansen. I'd seen him at Old Trafford for Barcelona when he was injured. But you'd seen him, and you were always aware of him because over in Mexico, you know, South America, he was even though he's from Argentina, he was the superstar, if you like. So you were aware of him, and he did things with the ball, and you think, you know, we've got it all on here today against this fella, you know, and it proved to be, you know, he was an outstanding. I had a chance to meet him there once or twice as well. Later on, when he was in Dubai, and we went to Jordan and spoke to him through an interpreter, and he was a funny. He had a nice manner with him, you know. He took the mic and I took it back, and it was good. It was good banter if you can have banter with an interpreter. But he was a great footballer.
Yeah, because I mean, as much as the genius this evening, we've also heard, you know, he was a flawed human being as well, and he found life tough. So I didn't realise you'd met him, so you got a feel for him as a person. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he had the problems with drug abuse. We know that, but when you think of him, like, he brought up in a shanty town just outside Buenos Aires, and what he got to, and you know, his fame. Did he have any privacy? So you can never judge, can you?
No.
You can never judge. I mean, I prefer to judge him as a footballer, and he was one of the greatest.
to be honest, I'm not sure you can have his upbringing and then be that famous and be well balanced at the end of it.
I think it's tough, and you know, to leave his beloved Boca Juniors and go to Europe at such an early age. Back then, I think it takes time to adjust, and I think he was at his most, what's the word I want, comfortable or peaceful when he was on a football pitch.
Yeah.
You know, and he showed us all that talent. Hey, listen, I still got the ump with the handball, and still a bit bitter about it, but you just got to, you cannot discount his genius. You can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you think Graham Souness was just on before you, you know, and he was saying, well, there's Pele and there's Maradona, and then for him, really, there's nobody in that sphere until Ronaldo, Messi. So it's very possible we're not going to see, you know, we're talking about literally a handful that are just so much better than the rest that even great footballers hold their hands up and say, this guy is just different stratosphere. Yeah,
I put Bessie in that group, but he was right up there. Right, I mean, and when you look at the whole nation, he sort of took. I mean, when Pele won it with Brazil in '70, I mean, he had a great team with him in '58 and '62. He had real good players. You know, but Valdano was it. So, to be fair, there were some good players, but he sort of dragged them. He sort of dragged them by himself. I'm not saying he's a one-man team because that's impossible, but the influence he had was it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're going to see that goal for the next few days every time you turn on the TV.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
You made me day, haven't you? But I'm sorry I was a bit late because it's been a bit hectic.
No, you're fine.
Nice talking to you.
No, you're fine. Thanks for checking in, Peter Reid. Thank you.